Hello everyone, welcome to TS Boomi Tech channel. So first of all, let me introduce myself. This is Abhinandan and I'm currently working as a Boomi solution architect in one of the company. So mainly this channel is created to share the Boomi content here. So when I set the Boomi content, so I will be covering, if you see the right hand side box, I will be covering the Boomi interview tips and preparation, and also covering the Boomi interview question and answers, and also covering Boomi online and offline trainings with the real-time project, and also taking the mock interview sessions which will be helpful for their interview crack. So when I say mock interview session, like who are taking the online and offline trainings, so I will be conducting mock interview sessions with them, and I also cover resume preparation and real-time scenarios. So this is all about the offerings of this channel. Okay, so let me go to the second slide here. So second slide, it is just representing the Boomi atmosphere here. Okay, so it is just a slide of Boomi atmosphere, that's it. Moving on to the next slide. So this slide tells you about how to manage the experience in Boomi, those who are looking for a job. So I observed nowadays, like many of them are interested to switch their jobs into Boomi area. Like when I say no, they are switching the jobs here, means they are already working in any of non-technical domain or any technical domain, but they are interested to move into Boomi area, like Boomi platform side. So many of the candidates I have seen, because nowadays they just log in into a trial account and they create a few simple integration as part of the interview cracking. So for those people, how to manage their experience, that will be shared here. So those, like, as per the current market standards or as per the current market situations, when you put your resume in Naukri or Monster job portals, what they do, just they are simply filtering 3 to 5 years experience candidates in Boomi. Okay, so the people who don't have much experience in the Boomi, okay, like currently they are working around 6 years in non-technical domain, what they have to do is just they need to split their experience, they need to keep their experience in such a way so that interviewer may understand that you have some real-time experience in Boomi. So let's suppose if you have 5 years experience, right, you can put 3 years experience in Boomi and another 2 years of experience in your domain. So that way you can manage. This slide is all about how you manage the experience, because when you are trying for a job, so your resume sounds like you should not have any gaps, okay, where interview should not find any gaps in your resume. So you need to organize your experience in such a way so that interviewer, at the first look he will decide that he's a genuine candidate and he has much experience. So when I say, like, you have 5 years of experience, right, so here you can put 3.2 years of experience in Boomi and rest of the 1.8 years of experience in your domain experience. And in this slide I also shown the educational gap and career gap. So nowadays in the market, like any of the MNC company or any of the product based company, they are also seeing about your the educational gap. So some companies are considering your educational gap. Okay, so I don't want to name the MNC company names here, but yeah, so few of them consider your educational gap and they say, like, they simply reject your profile by seeing this educational gap. Okay, coming to career gap, so how you should organize your career gap in your resume. So here I shown one of the flow diagram here. For suppose the candidate Vineet, okay, just I'm randomly taken one name, the candidate Vineet, who is 2017 passed out. Okay, so he started his career on 2018 Jan 2, and again his career ends on 2022 December. Okay, so from January 2023 to till date, he doesn't have any experience. So due to recession or anything, like he lost his jobs. So till date he don't find his job, right? But when you are keeping the resume, okay, when you say you have the 6 months gap in your resume, then interviewer may must ask you what you did in these 6 months, right? You can't say like you worked something else, right? So in that case you should manage your 6 months gap in a very structured way. Like you can tell any of the genuine reasons. Let me go to the next slide. Any genuine reason, like you do have any medical certificate with you, and then you have to submit that medical certificate. Or you can say like you just practice the integration scenarios in the trial account. So when you said like you practice in the trial account, then since the trial account has only few features, you can't practice much more on the trial account. So interviewer may ask you to screen share and show the Boomi account as well sometimes, but you should be very genuine with them, saying since you have the 6 months gap, you do not have the corporate Boomi account, only you have the Boomi trial account. And if you have good expertise in Boomi, you can also tell like in the 6 months you did the freelancing as well. And in my current slide, the second topic I'm going to discuss here is the current requirements for Boomi opening. So most of the MNC companies or product based companies, they are looking for integration and API management experience people, and Boomi have some other offerings as well, like Boomi Flow and Master Data Hub. So but the most of the openings that we do have for the integration and API management. When I say integration, it should not be like you prepared for only Boomi shapes and now you are ready with the interview. It should not be like that. So whenever you are giving any interview, right, then you should be expertise in explaining your integration scenarios, like cloud to cloud integration or cloud to on-premise integration. So majorly they are looking the integration scenarios candidate only. And moving on to the API management, so most of the companies currently looking for to expose their APIs and create a new API component. So only those relevant API relevant questions also asked in your interview. So this is about how to manage your career gap and the current requirement for Boomi openings. So moving on to my next slide. So in current situation, like what are the companies that looking for Boomi professionals or Boomi candidates in their projects, right? So TCS, when I said TCS, then they are looking for the contract to hire and permanent positions as well. So majorly they are looking for the contract to hire only, because in the contract to hire they might have a chance to observe the candidate whether he is genuine or fake, and accordingly they are going to cancel their contract and hired as a permanent if he is good in his performance and all. Moving on to the Infosys, yes, they are currently hiring most of the positions in contract to hire, like in Techem also currently hiring as a contract to hire. Coming to Capgemini, they are hiring both contract to hire and permanent. And LTM entry, it is mostly focusing on contract to hire position. Coming to Wipro, yes, contract to hire and permanent they are hiring for. So another thing I just wanted to showcase here, the mandatory checks for the background verification nowadays. So when I say background verification, here there are two types. Okay, the vendor background verification and client background verification. Okay, so first, suppose if you hired as a contract to hire, like you are hired as a contractor, so what they do, since you put the notice period as 30 days or lesser than the 30 days, so they need a immediate candidates. So in that case, they just only review your documents, they don't do any BGV for time being. They just screen your documents and they hire you, and after hiring they will start the BGV. When I say starting the BGV, it is just a vendor. Suppose you are hiring as a third party vendor, you are hired as a third party vendor, name is like some ABC company, right? So when ABC vendor company start your BGV, they will just initiate your BGV for the nominal checks like address verification, PF account verification, and the pay slips, which is manageable, right? So the ABC vendor company certified you as okay, this candidate is genuine. But once you hired as a contractor as well, okay, once you hired as a contractor, then again the client also will do the background verification. So when I say client doing the background verification, then the client hired a third party to do the background verification. So that is kind of strict background verification that client will perform. So many of the candidates assume that once they hired means okay, everything is okay, then they are onboarded smoothly. But it is not like that. Even the client background verification report also required. So they simply hire a third party again, and then that third party will take care of your BGV. That kind of so that BGV company, they do have some mandatory checks. Okay, so let me go to the next slide. So these are the mandatory steps currently they are following. First, they ask you to provide pay slips, and next they may ask you to provide form 26AS via screen share. They just ask you to log in your portal and provide these and switch on your video and share the form 26AS as well. Moving on to the next point, form 16. Yes, they will also ask you the form 16 as well, and the PF number, UAN number. These are the nominal comes under nominal checks. And if they observe anything suspicious, they may ask you about the bank statements as well. So just a minute guys, sorry. Yeah, so I'm telling these things when you are taking any experience from the consultants, then you should be ready with this document as well. Even though you won't be able to provide document, but you need to face them by showing some justification. Okay, and in my current slide I also explain you about what are the interview rounds that will be taken for Boomi. How many rounds of interview may expect for Boomi? So there are around 3 to 4 rounds you may expect. From the 4 rounds, out of 4 rounds, like the 2 rounds are technical and other 2 rounds are managerial and HR. When I say the technical L1 round, it is just a simple screening of your round. Okay, in the basic screening round, some technical questions will be asked only up to integration, scenarios. That's it. They don't ask you any deeper questions in the screening round. And once you clear that round, then you will be moving to L2 round. Coming to L2 round, so the technical expertise of that particular project which you are hiring for, so that TL will, most of the times that TL will join this call. He may ask you the relevant questions, okay, whatever they required. Suppose if they do have the API management requirement, so he only concentrate on the API management questions itself. In that way you can, in that way, sorry, just a minute. Yeah, so in that way you can decide that you will be hiring for this particular area, suppose API management or integration or flow or master data hub. Okay, so most of the time only the TL of the project will be involved. If he say, like if he provide green signal, okay, then you will be, your interview will be almost clear. Okay, and once the L2 round is complete, okay, then a managerial round will be conducted. In the managerial round, the project manager will, most of the time project manager will join that call. So he may ask you some questions not related to technical. It is regarding your shift flexibility, and if it is a US or UK project, then he may ask about you if you are comfortable on these UK or US timings, or if they have any on-call related things. So that all will be discussed in the managerial round, but I am sure that it is not a technical round. You should not be fear about that. Coming to HR round, this is the last round, okay, where they do this salary negotiations to release the offer. So these are all the 4 rounds which may conduct for any of the Boomi interview. Okay. And I do have some miscellaneous points also that should cover in this slide. If you see my please note section, so when you are hiring as a 5 years experience guy, then you can demand up to 12 lakhs per annum if you are going for a contractor. For suppose if you are going for the same position as a permanent role, then you can demand up to 15 lakhs per annum as well, based on your previous package. But for the contractors, since the third party involved in the middle, so they try to give you the lesser package itself, like up to 12 lakhs per annum. So I also want to ensure that if you want to know whether you are hiring for a support or development project, right, so you need to ask them while interview, by the final round of interview or any managerial round of interview, for which project you are hiring for, so that you will get an idea about whether you are hiring for support or development project. And also you can inquire about early joining bonus. Okay, if you are hiring as a contractor or if you are hiring as a permanent, you can check regarding joining bonus as well. So at least they do have the cutoff up to 20 to 25 days. The candidates who are joining within 20 to 25 days, then they are eligible for early joining bonus. But many of the companies do not reveal this to candidates, but we can try out. Suppose if you have some demand, right, so they do have some immediate requirement, then you can demand this early joining bonus as well. Okay, so this is all about the current market openings, like how's the current market situation. So based on that you need to prepare your resume. So in this video I haven't covered any of the Boomi related content, any technical content, because this video I prepared for only the interview preparation purpose. Like those who are preparing for an interview, they should know, yeah, they should keep in mind all these points. Like, okay, moving on to the last slide. So in my next video I will cover about what additional tools required to work in Boomi, and the integration scenarios that you should cover in resume, and the Boomi interview questions and answers. So guys, just this video is to prepare your interview in a very structured manner, so that you should aware of all these pointers if you are preparing for any interview. Okay, so please like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys, we will be meeting you in another video. Thank you.